Well, I apologize right now because this is going up way, way late because of the fact that I was busy all day. But anyway, Mets win, baby. 5-0 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. What a win for the Mets as they responded somewhat well. I mean, there were times where you thought, okay, this is going to be another one of the games. The offense isn't going to show up. The bullpen's going to blow it. But thankfully, the bullpen held it down. Thankfully, the offense did show up at least enough, and the Mets won this game 5-0, and they now have won the first of their 3 series, and they've improved their record to 7-3, and they could arguably be in a spot where they are 10-0. And yes, I understand you're not going to win every game, but it is definitely a positive sign that every game right now they have been in it. I'm knocking on wood there because I'm going tomorrow, and I pray to God that they don't get blown out now that I said that. But you do have a challenge against the Giants, so it could realistically happen. I'm not going to say that it's out of the realm of possibilities. It's going to happen this year at some point either way. Every team goes through that, but as long as, Mets don't go through that, that'd be nice, but it's inevitably going to happen, right? It's going to happen, but as of right now, in their first 3 series, I could say they have kept themselves they've at least kept themselves in every single game and gave themselves a chance where they could be 10-0. Before we dive into the action, though, with this game, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Met fans. And yeah, we recap every game here, so you might as well turn notifications on so you know exactly when I upload these videos. Let's dive into this, though. So the pitching matchup was I forgot the guy's first name. It was Castianos versus Peterson, though. So Peterson now in the rotation because Taijuan Walker obviously went to the injured list. And I found it interesting, though, that Buck decided to start Peterson because I thought, maybe with the off day, you'd go ahead and just skip a start and then have McGill start today, Scherzer start tomorrow, and then you'd just keep going in the rotation like that. Definitely not me, hoping it because I wanted to see Scherzer pitch tomorrow. But either way, I like McGill. I just got his jersey. But regardless, that's besides the point. I thought that the Mets were maybe going to go that route, but instead they decided to go with Peterson, and I was skeptical of it, but thankfully he did come through, and the Mets ended up winning this game. Not a lot of action, which it was very disappointing in terms of the Mets offense, because the fact that they couldn't get a hit on a guy that was not throwing his fastball anywhere close to 90 miles per hour, not even close to, far from the mid-90s, yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem for sure. Thankfully, the offense did come through, but it took them until the bullpen came into this game, which is what was scary, like I said. But when the bullpen did come in, which that was a bit earlier in the game, but the Mets took until the 6th inning to start some sort of rally, and the rally was great, though. Francisco Lindor, he singled, so, okay, you get off to that start. Then Pete Alonso gets a force out to second as a smart play there by the Diamondbacks shortstop. I forgot who was playing. I think it was Perdomo that was playing there. Smart play there. He let the ball drop, and then he threw it to second to get Lindor out because obviously you don't want the faster guy on first base. That's just, common sense. And it ended up not mattering because Eduardo Escobar comes up to the plate, and he gets a drive towards right field, and that ends up going down for a base hit. And it ended up being a double, but the throw in over the third base, yeah, it wasn't a pretty one. And Alonso got the score there on that, and Escobar advanced to third base. And that made the Mets, that made a 1-0 lead for the Mets. Then Oliver Perez came in for Ramirez there, and he walks the first batter, that being Dominic Smith. And Buck decided to pitch it, Travis Jankowski for JD Davis, which I thought was the right move there, and I'm glad that he did that. And that ended up paying off as he got a hit on the left side of the infield. And that ended up making it a 2-0 ball game as he singled there. And then you had a bit of a interesting thing where James McCann hits a sac fly. And there was a question, did Dom step off the base or not? And did he tag up at time? And thankfully he did, but it didn't. It might have went to review. So JD Davis decided, instead of letting the Diamondbacks have time to review the play, he goes ahead and just walks on down the second base, and it counts as a stolen base and the ball as a live play. So that ended up not mattering. So the Diamondbacks couldn't challenge the play even if they wanted to. Yorme then ended the inning there, but smart decision there from, JD Davis, and that got the Buck thumbs up, so you know it was good. 7th inning, the Mets also tacked on some runs as Peacock came in for Perez. It started off with 2 straight groundouts, but what is something that the Mets have done this year that they haven't done in years prior? They have actually got 2-out hits. And, well, it didn't start that way because Lindor walked. But then Pete Alonso with his 3rd home run of the year to left center field, a moonshot. And that made it a 5-0 game. And all of a sudden, you felt good about this one. You figured, yeah, the Mets are going to hold this one down, hopefully. And then Escobar, he got a single, but that ended with Dom Smith getting a ground out. And then the 8th and 9th, not a lot of offense, but the bullpen did lock it down. Obviously, there was no runs allowed from the Mets at all this game, so got to be happy there. In terms of Peterson's stat line, he went 4 in the 3rd innings, allowing 3 hits, and he walked 2 batters with 4 strikeouts. Peterson, again, being dominant, which is something that we like to see. Something that we love to see. He looked really good in that relief outing when he had to come in for Taijuan Walker. And if he could keep this up, he might earn a spot in the rotation. He was so good today. His slider was gross. How about that? A 56% whiff rate on that slider today. Absolutely unreal. Absolutely unreal. His total whiff percentage was at 28, but that slider, man, was gross. He was striking out batters left and right. I forgot who it was on one of the at-bats where he made him look so stupid. I think it was Ketel Marte, where he looked stupid trying to hit that slider. Absolutely disgusting. And then you had Trevor Williams, who came into the bullpen, and he's shaky at times. And it did look shaky as he allowed 2 hits in the inning, but didn't matter because he got out of it. He had a huge strikeout in the inning. And I thought it was weird to pull Peterson when they did, but I guess I understand it with 80 pitches, and he came in a relief outing last time. It was cold out. I guess that was the decision making there. But Trevor Williams did fine. He didn't allow a run there. But it's not like he had electric stuff today, but he did get the job done. So happy about that. And then Chase Trev came in, and he was lights out in his 2 innings of work. He had 2 strikeouts, but he was just limiting it to contact pretty much the entire time. He didn't have any whiffs at all, which was unfortunate, but he was doing really good either way. He was, like I said, forcing contact. So happy about that. He looked good, in my opinion. Well, I mean, obviously he did. And he didn't allow any hits. So 2 perfect innings from him. And then Drew Smith came in. He walked 1 batter, but he got a strikeout. And Drew Smith with a funny post on Instagram, and the caption was something like, "Why are they checking me for sticky stuff when I clearly wasn't even electric?" He only had, let's see, he had 1 whiff on his slider today. So that was that. But either way, he was really good today. I like what I saw from Drew Smith. And then Diaz, Buck decided to give him some work, which is understandable because he hasn't gotten a save opportunity in quite a bit, and you don't want him to sit in the bullpen for too long. He was fine in his inning of work. He walked the guy, but he got 2 strikeouts, and he was electric. And that's all she wrote with Edwin Diaz. In terms of the lineup today, McNeil, he walked twice. Outside of that, yeah, it was a bit rough for him there outside of that, but he's still doing fine in the year. By the way, hits in the game, 6-5 in favor of the Mets. Forgot to mention that. And then 1 error for the Diamondbacks, none for the Mets. Marte, though, Starling Marte, that is, not Ketel. He struck out once, and he didn't have that great of a day at the plate either. He kind of struggled, and he kind of struggled in the field. Yes, I know the weather conditions were bad, but he looked pretty goofy with 2 of those drop ball plays. Not going to lie there. And then Jankowski catching the hard hit ball that inning. It made no sense, but it is what it is. Lindor, he looked good today. He had a hit and a walk, so I'm impressed with what I saw from Lindor. Alonso, of course, getting the home run. Outside of that, he struggled a bit, but he did have 2 RBI, so I can't complain, and he pretty much broke the game open. Eddie Escobar, he had 2 hits today, and he had a walk. Happy with what I saw from Escobar today, considering he had a pretty embarrassing performance last game, so I'm happy with what I saw from him. Dom, thankfully, he got, well, I should say thankfully, he didn't do too much, but he got a walk. But how about him putting the wheels on with that 1 play going 1st to 3rd? So, liked that. And then Jankowski, he didn't get a hit. You're starting to see a bit of, what Jankowski really is, where he's more of a defensive first guy. He does have speed, but that's really about it there. And then JD Davis, pitch hitting, he had one hit. Plummer, you thought maybe he had his first MLB hit to center field, but that unfortunately got caught. You're the Diamondbacks. Come on, you're rebuilding. You want a tank. Just let him get the hit. Let him get his first MLB hit. And I know before someone comes in, the big brain genius is not understanding my sarcasm. They're professional athletes. Of course, they're going to try on every play. Yeah, again, it's called sarcasm. James McCann, for the longest time, he unfortunately had the only hit of the game, which was very scary, but thankfully that changed quickly. Nice to see him get a hit, though, because he has been struggling. Yorme, he had a walk. That was pretty much it. He has not got a hit on the year. Scary. Hopefully the bench heats up very soon, though. With runners at scoring position, the Mets were 1 for 5, while the Diamondbacks were 1 for 9. 9 left on base for the Diamondbacks. For the Mets, there were 7. The stolen bases were from McNeil and Davis there, where Pavin Smith had an error there for the Diamondbacks. That was the only error. But overall, it was a very windy day, very cold day out. I give props to anyone that was at that game, by the way, sitting in the stands there. But I'm very happy with what I saw from the Mets today. I'm really happy. And they won the series. What more could he ask for? But that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. They play the Giants next. Huge test. If you see me at the game tomorrow, say what's up. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, be sure to leave a like on the video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially for Met fans. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's go Mets, baby.